And
let's talk about the dude.
Let's talk about the dude. Like on the back of the, look, it says Gil Paris right there. Who is Gil Paris?
It's a great signature.
It's a really good signature. Gil is a staple in the New York scene for many, many years. We met Gil at the Philadelphia Guitar Show. Joe Naylor saw him play.
That's right.
And invited you to come by the booth.
Yep.
And you got a Rocco and a slingshot or something from us
So how many years ago is this at this point?
This is either 99 or 2000, probably.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you were doing videos for True Fire at the time?
Yeah,
were you already...
I did a Hot Licks video right before that with Arlen Roth. And I think I gave Joe a copy, and then we ended up hitting it off.
Yeah.
And then, was it 2000? The first All-Star Guitar Night I did with you guys was 2006?
Yeah. Yep. And we had prototypes of your guitar there.
Right. That happened to be a good show, and that's when Joe said, hey, we got to do this model.
Yeah.
And that, you know.
And the rest was history.
Yeah,
we had taken one of our Charger models and modified it with a, I think we put a burgundy lace sensor in the middle position. Yes. And you played it at that All-Star thing. And it's really, Penny and I talk about this all the time. I tell this story a lot. We had just met. That was the first show I met you. I wasn't at the Philly show where you guys started hanging around with Joe. So I had never met you personally, but Joe had told me all about you all the time. And so we finally come to it comes to this All-Star Guitar Night, which is this event that used to happen at the NAMM shows where the people from True Fire and the lovely Muriel Anderson would bring a bunch of people together, and they would have an acoustic show, and then they would have an electric little break for everybody to run to the bar.
Right.
And then they'd have the electric show. And Gil came out as the first act on the electric show, and he starts playing a little bebop, and you start doing your little thing, and it was pretty mellow, and I'm like, oh, that dude knows all the chords, man. Wow, this is really cool. And then he starts building this guitar solo, and all of a sudden, everybody in the room is on their feet, and it's a fantastic moment.
Lucky.
You can find it here on YouTube.
I fooled him again.
Yeah, it really. We were completely floored. You can find that on YouTube. Gil Paris at All Star. You find the clip. It's really, really cool. And so
2006, because it went straight downhill after that.
But yeah, so we took that basic model and we offered it. Your signature model was basically our Charger guitar for a number of years as a hardtail with our R2 humbuckers and the lace in the middle. And then over the years, it just sort of got modified. I hate to assign things numbers. People always like to say, well, this was the Gil Paris 1. And this is the Gil. Guitar guys like to assign things numbers. I think when we decided to move it to the 6-gun, we were just looking for something that had a little more sustain by putting the trem block in it. And something that balanced a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Right, body-wise,
by putting it on the sort of our 6-gun or King Bolt, whatever platform that it is that we have going here. And so that's sort of, that's the rundown of your history with us.
Yeah.
But what brought you to Philadelphia that year? I mean, where did you get your start? How did you come up out of the scene? Your parents were they were Broadway
My
people,
father.
correct?
My dad was a Broadway stage actor. And yep.
And so you grew up, hanging around the orchestra pits?
We have shtick in common. You and I have a lot of shtick in common.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So you grew up hanging around the musicians, or I mean, what?
Yeah, and actors. My father, I saw him with Mickey Rooney and with Danny DeVito, and on plays, and I used to hang out with these people. I didn't know. I just wanted to be with my dad, but
right.
But it was cool. It's very cool to be around, and the New York energy and everything.
So you grew up in Manhattan then?
Yes, I was born in the Bronx, and then I moved up. I kept moving on up.
Moving on up.
Do it.
So what got you into music? Obviously the theater thing was manifest, but what got you into your musical stylings?
I kind of started out as a record collector, and I still am. I'm a record nerd, and I feel like recorded music has all the answers, so I'm always like kind of hunting. Even with YouTube, there's still stuff that's not on there, and I'll always be a record geek, so.
And what brought you to the guitar specifically?
That's a good question. A neighbor was taking lessons, and they paired us up, and I started to like just excel at it. It was just I had a liking to it and took to it quickly.
So at a pretty young age, people started noticing that you had a gift. I mean, because you got some recognition very early in career, a lot younger than a lot of people do. And I mean, I can see why. But was that through a guitar player? And
the first time I was in Guitar Player magazine was 1990, which was Mike Varney's Spotlight.
Oh yes,
which was like
I remember.
It was like such a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, actually, like I remember going to like Sam Ash after it, and people were recognizing me. I was like, this is. But now, you know, you're in a magazine doesn't mean anything. But back then, it was sort of
a big
huge deal.
I remember. Yeah.
You know, pre-cell phones, pre-internet, and from then, it's like stuff started taking off. You know, I got some studio calls. You know, and then I got my first major record label deal in '97. So, you know, I think those were good times.
who was that with?
RCA.
RCA.
Yeah. And being in New York and having access to like the greatest cats, greatest players, it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, your playing is strikingly different from most of the people that we work with, and I think it's because of the caliber of musicians and the caliber of rhythm sections that you get to play with. Your band is incredible. Kip and Joe, the guys who you play with regularly now, are amazing. And it's funny to come to New York and hang around with you guys because you guys behave and act like we're the schlubs, we're the guys on the street, we're doing this stuff. And I'm just thinking in my mind, nobody I know anywhere else in the country plays like these guys. Like these guys, the stuff that they pull off,
Spur of the moment.
It's unbelievable.
I have this thing in New York. You can get an amazing drummer and a falafel in 2 minutes. It's the only place in the world where like, and if you could call 20 guys and there's another 20 drummers, it's like that are incredible. I mean, like recording ready, great time. You know,
the whole nine.
Yeah, and that you don't find that everywhere.
So then there were a couple records. Then there was the live DVD with.
Yeah.
What, Paul Schaefer?
Randy Brecker.
Yeah.
And Bernie Williams. That was when Bernie and I met, he was still playing baseball. So he would come and sit in, and like it was a huge deal. Like the New York Times would be there. And,
right, sure.
You know, so, and it's been years now. We've been playing together 14 years, 15 years.
You and Bernie have?
Yeah.
And what are all the projects that you're working on now? I know there's a number. You've got the stuff you're doing with Jesse. And
Yeah. Right.
Spill the beans.
All right. I don't want to let too much out. No, I have this show. It's called Picks the Guitar Hits, and it's the music of Hendrix, Santana, Beck, blues, and beyond. What basically that means is I do a couple things from. I have a cool version of Crosstown Traffic that's like a soul jazz thing. A version of Europa that changes the harmony. Everything's arranged and different. And then once I get in there, you know, we do all different kinds of stuff. We do the theme to Mission Impossible. We do once we get in the door, as long as we play a couple of tunes by those artists, I really feel like it's taken me a long time to get to where I can interpret it and be myself instead of just like, you know, somebody playing Little Wing again.
Yeah, sure.
Which, you know, you see that in every bar every weekend across America.
Right, absolutely.
So.
You see Greg doing that every weekend and every bar.
You couldn't afford me.
So, and it's just been another way, you know. So that's a good one. And then obviously working with Bernie, we've been talking about doing a jam band project later in the year, and then I'm doing a singer-songwriter thing with Jesse. So Jesse Lambiaz, he's a great singer. So
you've been appearing regularly at the Iridium in Times Square, which is legendary.
If this comes out, it's
jazz club.
July 14th and 15th. We have the whole weekend there.
Yeah.
And
but that's been a fairly regular thing.
That's my band though, and
whether it be
with Josh Dion too.
Yeah, whether it be you and Jesse or you and Bernie or you, I mean, you've been regularly getting gigs down there, which is really, really cool. It's an awesome place to visit if you're ever in New York. You know. See where Les did
his thing,
and it's just a humbling room to be in. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to take that stage on a regular basis with everybody that's been on that stage before you. That's just awesome. So, kick ass.
Thank you.
Kick ass, Gil Paris.
So, hey, Ken from Reverend Guitars,
less talking, more
really
playing.
proud. Really proud to bring Gil out here. And yeah, Gil's like, I play, I don't talk. What are you doing?
Well, this, let me preface. This is how early in the morning is this right now?
It's early enough.
Yeah, Gil's a New Yorker.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So.
Yeah.
This isn't even a New York jazz brunch. Never mind. Anyway, I said too much. But
check out the exclusive version of the Reverend Gil Parris guitar at Wildwood Guitars.
Yeah, we've got a few of them, by God.
We're going to play us out?
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's
what do you want to do?
Something minor.
Okay. You want to do the Thriller's Gone thing?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll set it up.
All right.
I'll sit here.
Sorry, I lost my...
They say, woo!
with Gil
I had no
Paris.
choice.
Can you dig it?
They say part of being a great musician is knowing when not to play, which makes me the best guitar player here.
Ken.
It's trying to say tacit.
Thank you very much.
Beauty,
Sounds great.
beauty.
Fantastic.
That was
Pleasure.
awesome.
With Gil Paris here at Wildwood Guitars with Ken Haas from Reverend Guitars. I'm Gregory Cockery here in the mobile Wildwood lair. We'll see you cats in the flippity flop.